In this episode, I'm going to share something I've learned about how I should be pricing my client projects. I get an email every day from a guy called Jonathan Stark. Now, if you're not familiar with Jonathan's work, I'll put a link in the description below the video, but he's essentially a mobile strategy consultant. And he has been consulting for a long time. He has a wealth of expertise, and he sends out these daily emails to help people like me who are kind of further back in their entrepreneurial journey to learn different strategies and techniques for starting a business and successfully running a business. And so it's definitely one of those emails that I really don't mind receiving every day. I try to unsubscribe from any that are not adding value to my life, but these emails are really, really good. So if you're running your own business, I really recommend you subscribing to his emails. But he sent an email the other day that really resonated with me, and I wanted to share the topic of the email with you guys today and just talk a little bit about what that means for me in my life and with regards to me and running a business. So what I'm going to do is just quickly read out a short kind of snippet of the email, and this will probably give you an idea about what I'm going to talk about. So here goes. Alice is a sales clerk who works at Tiffany's, the jewelers. She works part-time and makes about $10 an hour. All of her income is spent on groceries, rent for the apartment, and making minimum monthly payments on her credit cards. Bob is the CEO of a privately held manufacturing business. His salary is $750,000 per year. He owns a large home in a nice neighborhood, owns 3 cars, all of which he bought with cash. Bob's 25th wedding anniversary is approaching, and since 25 is typically the silver wedding anniversary, he decides to go for some silver jewelry. Bob has budgeted $10,000 for this gift. So Bob walks into the store and is greeted by Alice. Alice shows Bob some of their popular jewelry items in the $1,000 to $2,000 range. Now this is a real turn off for Bob because he's not interested in anything that inexpensive. He tells Alice he's thinking of something a little nicer. So Alice shows Bob some jewelry in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. But as she does this, she continually makes comments like, "This ring is pretty, but I really think the $1,000 one I showed you first is a much better deal." So this goes on for some time. Bob starts to feel like his time is being wasted. He knows he's going to spend a lot more money than this, but feels it would be inappropriate to say, "Can you just show me the $10,000 stuff?" So what's going on here? Well, what's going on is that Alice's idea of an appropriate budget for the gift is about $1,000. This is based on her personal biases about value. To her, a $1,000 anniversary gift would be amazing, but Bob's expectation is 10 times more than that. So I thought it was quite a nice story, and obviously it's fictional, but I think it really resonates and it's really true. And if I look at my own career, I spent kind of 20 odd years working in jobs which were either salaried or I was paid on an hourly rate. My first job, was waiting on tables. I was getting £2.50 an hour at a little chef in the West Midlands. And ever since then I've been earning different amounts working for different companies, but even up till the last job I had before I quit my job to start my own business, I was being paid a salary, so I was getting a set amount of money for every month that I worked at that position. And so my mentality about earning money was always tied to the amount of time I put in, which seems logical. But if we think about the story we just looked at, and if I relate that to starting a business, the first project I was given, by a client, they kind of gave me the brief. What I did immediately was thought to myself, well, how long is that going to take me? It's a natural thing to do, I'm sure you'd agree. But let's just say, for example, I would assume that would take me 2 months to do the project. I might charge the client £20,000 for that project based on the amount of time I'm going to put in. So let's say that this was a Video Bytes project and I was delivering a series of software systems training videos. Now, it might only take me 2 months to deliver. I might value that at £20,000, but the client might receive a return on investment that far outweighs the £20,000 that they spend on the videos that I create for them. So these videos that we create might save half of their customers from not using their software, and it might actually give them a return on investment of 20 million pounds. You know, I'm plucking a number from the air here, so obviously that, you know, could be any number. But the point is, the price that I'm quoting is based purely on my value of the project rather than on the customer's value of the project. So I think the moral of the story from this, and it's something I've been aware of, you know, over the past sort of 2 years or so, and you know, really been trying to, you know, address, is looking at each project that I deliver more from the perspective of the client rather than from my own perspective. It shouldn't matter how much value I place on the project. The important thing is how much value the client places on the project, and that's how I should be pricing my project. If you've got any comments about strategies for shifting your mindset around this topic, I'd be really interested to hear about this because it's something that I'm continually striving to improve. Please leave those in the comments section below the video, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.